Hi everyone, delonewolf here. Welcome back to some EVE Online, and it looks like information for Crius is finally ramping up, because in today's video I have 3 dev blogs that I want to share with you guys, and it's all about some of the new stuff that's coming in Crius. So that's actually pretty interesting. Let's go straight for the browser then, and yeah, let's have a look at them. I must say we've had like a few quiet weeks on news, and now there's 3 dev blogs being released with stuff about Crius. It really makes me curious about how we're going to experience this new development cycle by CCP, because we don't know anything about what they're planning after the Crius release. But it's just a couple more weeks, then we'll have Crius, and then new stuff is going to have to start coming to the test server and to dev blogs about how they're going to continue this. Yeah, for like 10 or 12 releases. Yeah, so I think it's 10 releases through 1 year. So it's going to be very interesting how CCP is going to handle all of that information, all of that testing, and how we are going to experience this. So yeah, let's start with the little things coming to EVE Online in Crius. Some of this is going to be very good news for some players. So first of all, we have split insurance list. With people that have the necessary roles in corporations to also insure corporation ships. It can be a pain in the ass to try and find your own ships and the ships for your corporation, so they're going to split this in 2 separate windows, one with my ships and one with corp ships. And yeah, for people that do the logistics inside the corporation, I think this is a small but a very welcome change. Next up, we have the no label. So this is for your contacts window. You can of course assign people and contacts certain labels. I do this with you guys because I'm actually starting to have quite a few contacts through the YouTube channel. But now people that you have not assigned a label to will come into the no label category. And I think the advantage of this in managing your contacts is that well, you'll immediately have an idea of how many people are not labeled as anything specific, and you'll always find that your all contacts number will be the same as the total in your label and no label categories. So it might just be a nice little thing that can help you recognize straight away what kind of contact just came online or is actually contacting you and stuff like that. So it could actually be an interesting little feature for people that have a lot of contacts. Next up, flag exempt from fleet warp. We already knew that this was coming, but inside the fleet window you'll be able to flag yourself exempt from fleet warps, and so you'll no longer take these. This can be very handy of course for Titans, but also for scouts if they remain inside the same system. This can actually help them avoid an unintentional fleet warp. A few notes on this is that you'll have to do this yourself, so it's not like your fleet commander can put an entire wing on exempt for the fleet warp. Something like Aspire stuff can also not like force half the fleet to stay behind, but yeah, maybe there are some if a spy can work his way high enough in the hierarchy of the fleet, maybe he can take advantage of this feature as well. But overall it's just going to be something that's really helpful for fleets, especially for like I said, guys that are in ships that you don't want to accidentally fleet warp, or for the scouts. I can imagine that can be very handy as well. Next up, skillless module fitting. We also knew this, but it's nice to see it confirmed here, that people that are doing logistics for their corporation or their alliance, that basically fit a lot of ships for these people, put them up on contract so that the fleets can go out there and do their thing more quickly and more efficiently. They'll now be able to fit all the modules, fit all the rigs, even if they don't have the necessary skills to actually fly said ship or fly said fit of that ship. So that's going to be very helpful for people that are doing logistics inside of a corporation or an alliance. And one thing to keep in mind, if for instance you accept a contract but you don't have the prerequisite skills, if you try to undock, you will get a message that you're undocking with certain modules that will be inactive because you actually can't use them. So yeah, you have to be a little bit careful here, but just thinking of the workload that this can that this can save to some of the people that have to do all of that logistics. I think this is an awesome little change as well. Underneath here are just a couple of features that they've actually deployed with Chronos that they want to highlight, but honestly, more clickable names. Your name in the character sheet is now clickable. A clickable info link. I can't really say that I've ever used or noticed that, because I usually just click on my character sheet and then go from there, but alright, it's there. Labels on online and offline notification. I haven't exactly noticed that either, and honestly, if I see a name and then it's red, I know he went offline, and if it's green, I know he comes online, so not sure. Oh yeah, you can of course see the label that you gave him, so maybe it has some functionality within a large alliance or something like that for like leaderships or enemies or known Titan pilots, but personally not really seen that. More core bookmarks. We're a small corporation, so we don't use that, but I'm sure that some wormhole alliances and larger wormhole corporations find this very useful. More KK wormholes in lowsec. Well, we knew that this was part of Chronos, so they've basically upped the amount of wormholes that went from lowsec to lowsec, lowsec to nullsec, and possibly lowsec to highsec, just so that you could move around a bit more stealthily, maybe as pirates, through lowsec or coming into lowsec or leaving lowsec. This should help alleviate some of the gate camps in certain systems, although of course they will pretty much always be there, but yeah, it just helps a little bit with adding flavor to lowsec. And then armor resistance phasing skill is now reduced. Now reduces cap need, so that's been buffed just a little bit. But yeah, these are the little things for Crius. Honestly, I'm liking these, and I think people that do a lot of work for larger corporations will find these little changes very, very helpful. Next up, we have teams and the revamp of industry in EVE Online. So there's a little bit of an update on this, although I think the biggest and most important change is right here, that they're adding filtering options in the star map, which will allow players to filter by industry activity and cost. This should definitely help greatly in giving players an overview of what is happening where. Not only that, this should also, I think, help players find quiet systems if they want just the low costs and to be a little bit on their own. I think this can be very helpful. I had not thought about this when I was testing or thinking about Crius, but this is an awesome addition in my opinion. Not only will this help industrialists, but yeah, for guys that are looking for pirate opportunities or opportunities for a good war deck and stuff like that, this can definitely be very helpful to have these filters inside the star map. I think it's gonna be great. This can only help people yeah, find their way after the release of these industry changes a little bit more easily. So yeah, that was an awesome idea, and I'm very happy to see this implemented. There's also some window polish. I won't go into much detail here. Basically, they're just making it a little bit easier to use the Teams tab, which is of course where all the real new stuff comes, you know, stuff like blueprints and factories, and then the jobs you've got running. Those three tabs, that everybody already knows what to expect from those, but the Teams tab definitely could use a little bit of love, and they should really try and make that as easy and intuitive as possible. So if for instance here you're selecting a blueprint, the team list will automatically filter based on that blueprint. So let's say that you're putting in a frigate blueprint, so the team list is going to focus on teams that can actually have an impact on the production of frigates. So it's stuff like that that's going to be a little bit of hit and miss, I think, at first, but it's nice to see that they're already incorporating feedback and trying to improve this industry window when it comes to the Teams tab, because that's going to be what's most new to everyone. And so the better they make this, the better it is for everyone. And I really should mine a little bit more with my drones here, so let's do that. Mine repeatedly. So yeah, some improvements on the industry window. Maybe I'll have a chance to check this out on CC. Yeah, we already know this about the star bases. They're going to remove the standings restriction for deploying a star base in HiSec. And they're adding a minimum corp age of 7 days for deploying a star base. Honestly, that's to try and avoid people just basically jumping corporation in order to avoid war decks, but this is just so easily circumvented that honestly I feel all this is going to really do is add more attention to the fact that people, all they really need to do is have an extra corporation ready with a throwaway character in order to avoid them. So that's just one extra step they have to take. Everybody's already aware of that, so I don't actually think this is going to help at all. The players will do what they'll do in that regard. And then over here, I won't go into detail on this either, but you actually get an overview of all the different specialities that these teams can have, so they can give you bonuses to production time and the amount of materials needed. It's really quite broad. I think there's something like 134 different specialities where, oh my god, is that already done? Mine repeatedly, please. So yeah, something like 134 specialities in those teams that people will be able to bid for on the Crius release. Yeah, after that, of course, you have to hopefully be able to find those easily through the new map features, and then yeah, just go and do your industry. Try and do that the most effective way you can find. So I think it's interesting, but this whole bidding concept for a very small and solo corporation like ours, I think it's more going to be to see where the big boys are that have actually done all of that bidding, and see if it's actually worth it to try and do some production inside those systems. But other than that, it's a little bit of wait and see on my end to see how these specialty teams and this bidding process is going to influence the game once that's actually released on TQ, because right now it's just yeah, I'm just not sure how this is going to impact the experience of most players. And what the hell, they really don't want to keep mining there for some reason. Oh, it's because I'm full. That's why. Well, then we'll take the warp and we'll quickly cover the last dev block. So let's put up a dock right here, head back to the browser, and yeah, check out the final dev block. It's a very small one, but just a quick note that they're also going to work on the brackets, the in-space brackets. Normally these should come with Crius, so they're just going to add a little bit of functionality to this. It's nothing too special, but yeah, you'll have a choice between a compact bracket list and a bounded bracket list, and this is how those two will look. And at the moment, if I can find something where I can actually get the brackets going, when you're in warp it's not that easy, but there you go, you can see it pop up right there. So it's limited to 15 objects, but yeah, you'll have like a little bit more functionality there. Honestly, I don't use this very much. I'm more of clicking on the overview kind of player myself, but yeah, this might just be useful for some players that actually use these in-space brackets. So yeah, overall I would say it's a lot of nice little features that are coming for Crius. Of course, the industry changes are really the major ones that are going to have an impact on everyone. It's going to be a little bit of an interesting experience to see how all of that stuff works out, but personally I'm even more curious about to see what's coming after that. How is CCP going to handle all of this information, all of that testing, and what is their plan for the next few releases? Because honestly it's such a fast-paced schedule that I'm really curious to see how all of this is going to work out. Anyways, that's it for this video then, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all next time.